And behold,
we're off. I did, yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Greetings.
Greetings, everyone. There's some lovely filth over here. You know.
Welcome to the Gosslings. I am Sir Nick.
I am sad. Yeah, okay. No. So, hi, everyone. Welcome to the Gosslings. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Nick.
And this is our weekly live stream where we get together and you know the drill. It's like episode 26 by now.
26.
So, yeah. So if you don't know what's going on by now, then whatever.
We are officially at 26 Sundays. That is literally half a year of Sundays we've been doing this.
Yeah. Half a year banked, and and that's with skipping a few. So technically, we've been doing this probably.
Yeah, I've been doing it over.
Longer.
Yeah, almost a year.
So we've had to skip a handful. So this has been a really cool ritual / experiment.
Yes, if you go back to the Goslings episode 1.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was 1. We're at Jonathan's place. It's just me and him sitting at his table
filming
on his laptop.
My potato. Filming through the potato cam.
On the couch, on the other side, you can't see him, is our older brother, BJ.
Yep, our eldest brother, yeah.
We convinced him, you got to come over for our writer's night.
Yeah.
You know, come over. We'll hang out. Brother time. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It was the last time he came over.
It really was.
He's like, oh, we're doing live streaming? Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah.
I'm out.
He sat on the couch and was just he was all Christian Slater, Kiefer Sutherland, too cool for school. You know, he didn't want to play our reindeer games.
No, he did not.
No,
he did not.
Big brother can't let slip the mask. He's got to be cool all the
D
time.
has joined us. Hello, D.
Hey, D. What's up?
So wonderful of you to join, and you can see your handiwork here. We're going to be talking about that.
Yeah.
We are very excited about that. Also, Delta.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Delta had a pretty good little one paragraph.
His real name is Daniel Davis.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but we call him Delta. It's way cooler.
It's double day Dublansky. You know, that's technically triple D, but we try not to split hairs.
I don't like to give you. I'll give you 2 Ds. Yeah. Enough. Don't fully yourself with 3 Ds. 3 Ds is a little much.
Well, depending on what country is in, depends on what DD stands for.
And also, do you want to? We should bring our guest on.
Yeah, and
then we'll do the toast and everything.
Yeah, we got Adam waiting in the wings.
Adam Burrell,
ready to deploy.
Audible narrator extraordinaire.
Yeah.
And we're about to bring him on here in just a second. But first, I'd like to ask for him. I'd like to see him magically appear from a cloud.
Yeah.
Give us a cloud and I'll bring you on. 3, 2, 1.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ladies and gentlemen, he doth appear from a cloud. Behold, he comes riding on a cloud in glory.
It'd be so awesome if Adam did the thing he looked just like God from Monty Python, where he's just like this the whole time, just right over a little cloud. What's all this thing?
No, clear off.
Clear off. Yeah.
What's going on?
What's all that down there? Yeah.
Clear off.
What was the bit about everyone's always scraping and groveling. It's like those miserable psalms. As if so depressing,
Did me this, and I'm sorry. That's so depressing.
That's what it was.
Groveling.
What was your?
I gotta watch that again. That's so quotable.
What was your favorite? What's your singular favorite moment from Holy Grail?
Good question. Probably Holy Grail.
Yeah, Holy Grail.
Probably the Holy Hand Grenade.
Holy Hand
When
Grenade.
they're reading, "Thou shalt love the Holy Hand Grenade."
Adam, didn't you send me the whole quote of the Holy Hand Grenade thing?
I saw it. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I did.
What about you, Adam? What's your favorite? What's your favorite Holy Grail moment? I'm assuming that you're.
We are no longer the knights that say, "Nee." We are the nights that say icky, icky, patang, walam, zing, bang, bang.
With a little path running down the middle.
path.
A little path.
Yeah.
Separating in a little two-layered effect in the bottom.
Awesome. Oh, man.
Well, we were big Life of Brian fans,
Yeah.
too.
Oh.
Did you ever...
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
That's right. I just, that one moment, man, the most brilliant moment of that whole movie is an exercise in irony. Where it's like, you're all different. You've all got to think for yourselves. And everybody in the crowd, yes, we're all different. And the one dude in the back,
I'm not.
I'm not. I was perfect. Couldn't ask for a better joke than that.
I happen to have a very good friend in Rome called Biggeth Dicketh. He commands a quack region and his wife, Incontinentia Buttock.
Maybe you've heard of his wife, Incontinentia? And he's just like, Incontinentia buttocks.
You feel like a little giggle when I say the word biggest.
Willie, what was it? Willie Moabath?
Warif Bawabath.
Dude. It's so... Oh, my
Yes,
God.
Theodosius from Thessaloniki and Thebes.
Like the best bit, I mean, there are so many good ones, but one of the best bits in that whole movie is when Brian gets caught by John Cleese as the centurion, trying to do graffiti. And he's like, what is this? And he's like, oh, okay, we'll conjugate the verb. And he takes him through the English, the grammar,
Latin.
the proper Latin grammar. He's like, conjugate the verb. So, et tu, plurabi.
He's like, what's this then?
Yeah.
He goes, it says, go home Romans. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Oh, you didn't conjugate the verb, whatever.
Romans go in the house?
Romans go.
Yeah. Like the end of it, he's like, right, now do it 100 times by dawn or I'll chop your balls off.
Yes.
And he does it, and then they're like, yeah, it's good. And then they look at him and they're like, wait a second. And they all start chasing him. There's like that whole thing where they chase him and he lands in like the alien spaceship and it goes off. And,
Oh, that's a
dude,
wild.
Life of Brian is
Yeah.
so genius. It's such
Are there any ladies here? No.
Why are you always on about women, Stan?
I want to be one.
I want to be one. What?
I want to have babies.
Where's a fetus going to gestate? In a box?
Don't suppress me.
So prescient for today, so topical. 40 years ahead of its time.
Life of Brian.
I
Good
know.
stuff.
Well, anyways, for everyone watching,
Pick up the train, put it back on the rails,
Yeah.
and push it. Here we go.
Yeah, everybody push. Adam Burrell is our narrator. He's the narrator for all of the Heavenly Realms books, which you can find on Amazon and Audible and Kindle and ACX, and then what, 4 of the Travelers League books?
3, 4, 5, and he's done books 3, 4, and 5, and he's working on Hopscar.
That's what it is.
And Broken Legs of Warwick. So he's done 4. He's working on 5.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And Adam is at this point the de facto third Gosling. We just have to figure out. We got to do something with the wax seal and a typed letter of we got to think of something super pretentious.
Yeah.
If I could knight, have a Masonic ritual, just because it's just an opportunity to do something silly,
With a lightsaber.
Oh, with a yes.
With a lightsaber.
With a lightsaber. Yeah. Yeah.
Do I have to edit that? Do I have to do lightsaber effects?
Yeah.
And sound effects.
Yeah.
I'll figure something out.
You should just do it with his mouth though. That'd be really funny. No actual Foley work, just belch in there somewhere, Anyways, okay, so
for those of you joining us, this is the beginning of our regular beginning of our episode.
yeah.
We always start an episode out with a toast.
Yes.
I like to start an episode out with a toast. And this is our motto. This is the official motto of the Gosslings writers group. It's very personal, but it's also very participatory, and we hope you'll join us.
Yeah.
It's always a classy thing to start off with a toast.
I think so. It's nice to have a bit of ceremony.
I think ceremony, yes.
Bit of tradition.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. So if you have a libation, which at this point, if you're still watching, it's probably the only reason.
Yeah. We should chalk up probably 80% of our views to just like drunken booze.
People are probably just,
you know,
yeah.
just you boozing.
Booze tube. Booze
Yeah, a
tubing.
little booze tubing, you know, get a little lit and just go cruising, you know.
Well, if you have a libation and you're still joining us, first of all, we appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Who went first last time?
I can't remember. I think I'll go first this time.
You go first this time. He'll lead it, and we'll respond.
Yeah. All right. So take up your glass and take up the broken sword of your father.
And strike down the dark.
Cheers. Cheers. Ooh, that's got a little nose burn. What is that?
Mm-hmm. Got a little butter flavor to it, too, like a little butterscotch. That is called...
I'm going to be honest, that tastes like pure...
That tastes like pure gasoline.
Yeah. Which is a precious commodity right now in
This
in
is...
the southeastern United States.
This is Filibuster.
Filibuster.
Straight Kentucky bourbon. It's 117 proof.
Oh, that's nice.
Single barrel.
Ooh.
Single barrel. And that's not a blend. That's so it got that edge to it.
We're gonna get all hopped up on single barrel. Adam is lost in
it's like they distilled it through a Werther's candy.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Delicious. Yeah.
Look at that
I'm
cat.
here still. I'm here.
Yeah. Adam's somewhere in there, you know, hidden by the cat.
Adam, you got to trim your mustache, man. I don't know what to tell you. This is professional over here.
See, that's what happens, Adam. You cut your hair and it just becomes
open wide. I think you want.
Because Adam's hair has become sentient. That is a dangerous position to be in, Adam. Yeah. You have no idea. You know, that's staring down the muzzle of a howitzer.
I was gonna say, what if there was another cloud?
Yeah. That's how you can get that to go away.
Right in the cat's face, just right in the yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now it's a magic cat.
What's the cat's name?
Kitty.
Kitty.
Very original.
Yeah, hey,
Kitty.
It works.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you really have to name cats? You know, I mean,
I got dog in here somewhere. Dog.
Are they gonna answer you anyways if you name them something?
Hey,
They come when they want to.
Come here.
You know.
Well, you know, she looked at me and she went out as if to go, "You will pay."
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They definitely have that look about them. You know. Lily does too, though. She'll look at me like, "Oh, really?"
What flavor are you vaping?
This one is Monster Energy drink flavor.
Yeah, cats hate Monster Energy drinks.
Oh yeah, that's.
And that one is cherry.
Puree.
Yeah. Cherry.
Oh, cherry.
Yeah.
Oh, cherry. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cherry, nice. All right. You got two. You're like,
He'll double fist it. I know he will.
three.
Triple, quadruple.
My goodness.
Yes. Adam, you're gonna run out of holes. Sorry.
What? What just happened?
There's only so many places you can shove those things, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
That's how you go to a commercial break.
Yeah. Dude,
That's really great.
yeah. That is, yeah. If we ever
You
like
can,
figure out
vanish.
how to do edits, you know, like in like live stream edits,
Yeah.
That's how we should do it. Yeah,
That's great. That's great.
Just have 'em-
So that's Phil. You know what? I'm going to put this over here.
Are you?
Yeah, because I'm going to be sipping on that for sure.
Oh yeah, we don't want to knock over that.
Yeah.
Week in review.
Yeah, let's do week in review, reviewing the week and what lies ahead. I'll let you go first because actually, let me go first.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything this week. What do you got going on?
That was easy. Yeah, nice. Let's see. So I got a couple chapters in Sasquatchalypse where we're getting into. I got like 70 pages in so far, so we're getting some momentum, sort of getting the action going. You know, yeah.
That'd be great.
There's a cool scene where like one of the guys crashes his car because a Bigfoot was in front of it, and then when they find him, it's a Tahoe. And when they find him, the Tahoe is upright in the middle of the road with him still
like on the end, on its end.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
You know, it's like the Sasquatch was not happy about seeing him. So
clearly,
So that's been cool. Finally, because I've been on staycation this whole week. I left the waste management gig, and I'm gonna start at the gunsmith on Monday. So let's see. What did next week? I'll send David. Yeah, he'll send the good stuff next week. So I've just been hanging out, and I made sure
to hold you to that.
Yeah, really. I made sure to get some writing done this week, and it was good. I mean, it's still, I've kind of noticed that, and Wayfarers was a little bit like this. What's that, Adam?
There's a cat behind me.
Oh yeah, yep. I'm telling you, man, revenge is coming. There's only so much we can do for you, buddy. Godspeed. Dude, when that tail starts going like that, that's how you know, the plan.
It's gonna come from the side. Snake attack.
You just see me disappear.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the cat head's gonna come up with little white earbuds in.
Yeah. With that glasses
Gosling.
on. Yeah. Yeah. I'm the Gosling cow.
They will never know.
Yeah. No, I'm Adam, I promise. Me's Adam. Yeah.
Mr. Adam.
Yeah, see, cats do seem like they would have Jar Jar Binks' voice.
Yeah.
Mr. Speck, you know.
The other cool thing that happened is we got in our awesome bookmarks from Dee, Adam's wife. Adam's wife does resin molds. And I commissioned her to do a few things, but one of them was making some bookmarks that correspond to the covers of my Heavenly Realms novels. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she did one for the Travelers League.
Beep, 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 beep. She even sent me one for the Travelers League. Look at that.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
And
this is so cool.
They really are. They're the perfect size for the books. They got a little bit of flex to them. And they got these cool psychedelic covers. And in a couple cases, honestly, in Triptych Codex and Grey Aegis and these two, the bookmarks look better than the covers. They're very fantastic.
Cool, yeah.
So
I love this
really,
color. This
really
is a great
good.
color.
I know, and it's so funny because
it's got some purple going on in the back. On the bottom.
That cover
really nice.
Is the weakest looking cover in paperback, and yet in bookmark, it's the best out of all. Go figure.
And check this out. Look what else she did.
Yeah, that's cool.
Goslings coaster.
Yeah. That is really neat.
Although she's going to have to make another one now so that you don't fight.
That's very sweet of her.
Well,
that's very charitable of her, but, we gotta fight over something. Come on.
We'll find something.
But I did commission Dee to make 50 of these, 10 of each.
Cool.
And then I currently have 10 author copies of each book. So I'm thinking about, and plus the 10 copies of Man at Arms. So I'm thinking of maybe building some sort of a package.
Okay.
At some point. I'm not really sure what we're going to do, but we'll use them for promotional material. Or if you just want one, resin, what is it? Resin by Dreamer. Is that right? Or Resin by Dreamer?
Resin by Dreamer.
Resin by _Dreamer on Instagram.
Resin by Dreamer.
Yeah. I got her tagged in a bunch of posts.
At Resin by _Dreamer.
Yeah.
Yep.
She does a lot of cool stuff. The dice boxes, the little trinket boxes are really cool. The cog tray is really neat. Very inventive. It's really cool. So, yeah, there it is.
There you
Man,
go.
those are so neat.
Did I spell it right? Resin by _Dreamer. There is Dee.
Cool.
Yes, there is Dee Burrell's Instagram handle there. You can connect with her. Very cool.
And she's done some cool things with the D&D dice. She put little skulls in one, and then that was really neat. And then there was another one. Did she do another one where they lit up? She had little LEDs in them.
She's looking at doing that now.
Really? Okay, that was really cool too. Yeah, she's got some cool ideas, man.
You've got another one where it swirls in the middle. When you shake it, it swirls and moves.
Real.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's got like a Lord of the Rings, like Palantir kind of vibe.
Have like
to
a
it.
timepiece and like little magic swirling around it.
Yeah. I tell you, man, that stuff's neat.
Ooh.
We also, Nick and I both, probably around the same time, put in an order for on Sticker Mule for some magnets and some stickers.
Oh yeah.
And so we should get those in probably in the next week.
Yep. Stickers come. We got stickers coming. We've got.
I ordered my own seal.
You wax seal. I got a rubber stamp coming.
Oh
so
yeah,
I can
rubber
rubber stamp my fans.
Yeah.
So with red ink. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got some cool stuff, man. I'm really looking forward to getting the bookmarks in from D and looking at doing like maybe these coasters. That might be a cool thing to do. And really, the next step is as far as marketing and branding and everything, is to do two things. One, I'm going to get with a friend of mine and look at building a website so we can have a landing page for all this stuff.
Okay.
Because we have so many pieces now, between the merchandise and the different books, Adam's stuff. There's a lot of moving parts, and you kind of want to harness them all together. You want to herd all those grasshoppers onto one position, and then generating some Facebook ads. That's going to be the next thing, because Facebook ads you can target very specifically, So we want to try and figure out what to do with those next so we can make sure we maximize whatever budget we have for Facebook ads. So yeah.
I want to start doing ads for those videos I did.
Yeah, dude, that was so good. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, Adam started his own YouTube channel. Adam, is it _ narrates? Is that right? Or is it just Adam narrates?
I think so. I'm now just double checking.
I know, because I know on Instagram it's Adam _ narrates. But I'm sure if you just type in Adam narrates in the search field, you'll find it. I posted the link, I think, in my last
Adam narrate. Yeah.
So, but Adam did a couple of sneak peeks of the Heavenly Realms novel that he's working on and the Travelers League novel that he's working on. And he sort of did a multimedia thing where he put music to them, and he also put some images to them. And man, the production is awesome. They look really, really good. That's some strong marketing you got there, Adam. 'Cause that stuff is cool.
Here, we'll put it in the.
How did you choose the music for that?
About an hour's worth of listening. Going no,
Really?
no.
Okay.
Yes.
I was about to feel bad. Yeah.
No. Yes.
Maybe, but yes, but not really. But well, probably, yeah. Well, because it was perfect. The music.
I agree. The sample he did for mine.
Both. Yeah,
it was really great.
Yeah. The pirate music was great.
Yeah.
And then the like spooky sort of Doctor Whovian kind of music that he did for Wayfarers was just superb, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Is it? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I had one thing that came up this week.
Yeah.
Only one thing. I didn't, like I said, I didn't write anything.
Oh yeah.
There's no writing, but I got this letter in the mail. The Hoppus Chronicles, the book where I took all the ideas from the kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we put that out, and all the proceeds go to charity.
Oh yeah.
I got a letter from the executive director of the charity.
Did you really?
Yeah, I said it's Generation Joshua is the name of the charity. Dear Nick, just wanted to take a moment and say thank you. Your faithful support of Generation Joshua through your writing is so appreciated. I actually just got a copy of the timepiece for my son to read. Thank you again, Joel.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Dude.
I was like,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, hey,
that's super cool, man.
That's cool. And then he sent me a little, like a receipt of how much money we've been able to generate and give him so far, which is not impressive. But he was acting like it was a big deal, and it made me feel good.
It may have been, man.
It was cool.
Lord works in mysterious
really
ways.
Cool.
You never know.
Yeah.
You know.
So Generation Joshua, they're cool.
Generation Joshua. Yeah. Now we've only talked about it once or twice. Mm-hmm. Give us a quick recap of what Generation Joshua is. Yeah,
Generation Joshua. It's actually they're under the 501c3 of the Homeschool Legal Defense Association.
Okay.
So what Generation Joshua does specifically is they take young people, like 22 and under.
Yeah.
And they teach them how. It's almost like political apologetics, where they teach them how to defend their conservative Christian beliefs.
That's awesome.
You know,
Constitutionalist.
how to stand up. You know, not so much how to be an activist, but how to engage people in conversation and defend what you believe.
Yeah.
And they teach it to young people. Teaching it to young people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Young conservatives.
How did you find them?
Actually, Rihanna found them.
Did you really?
Through a friend of hers that supports them.
Behind every great man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also
behind every great man is someone doing all the work.
Yeah. No kidding.
Pretty much.
You know, it's kind of the same scenario for D and Adam, it seems like. Because, I mean, man, like, you guys are quite the little entrepreneurial team. And you both have day jobs. And you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
You have a cat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else you have. You know, 3?
No, just a cat. Just a cat.
Just a cat. Yeah.
Just cat.
So it's like, man, they like, and they are always up. I've like, I try to like be careful of when I send text messages because Adam's in England with his family, and so there's like a 6 hour.
So
I always try to be cognizant of that. But like every time, whether it's been like during the night shift or whether I've been like, you know, off or something, every time they always get back to me. I'm like, I don't know if they ever sleep. You know?
Do you ever sleep? You don't seem to. Of course, I don't.
We are the Terminators.
Yeah.
Machines.
That's what I think I told. That's what I told your wife the other day. Is like,
That's right.
Yeah, I'm starting to think you guys are maybe just Terminators that you just like plug in for 2 hours every day. You know, if you don't mind, sir, I'm going to switch off now. You know. And...
Excuse me, sir. I just need to go and recharge one's batteries. I will be back with you shortly. Thank you very much for your patience.
I'll be right back.
Dude, can you imagine what all you could get accomplished if you had like Burrell level?
If I didn't have to sleep or eat, I could rule the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No kidding.
But I spend all of my time eating and sleeping.
Dude, that's all I've done. I'll tell you, I went to the grocery. I took this week off and missed the whole gas shortage thing. Apparently, there was like a big gas shortage.
There was for like just like 2 or 3 days. And it's over.
I totally I didn't miss a beat because I never left the house except to like go 3 miles down the road to go get groceries.
Yeah.
You know, like every quarter I spend like $500 on groceries. That's all I do. You know, and so all I've done for like every day this week is just eat all the food I got from the grocery and just hang out and play Diablo 2 and you know.
I wasn't. I mean, we got hacked by some Russian company. They hacked our gas line, shut it down for like a day.
Yeah.
People panicked and panic bought all the gas, and then the pipeline was restored and it came back online the next day. And then the day after that, there was plenty of gas for everyone. No big deal.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is that during those 3 days, I was getting all of these weird spam calls and spam emails. Like there was this rash, like personally and at work.
Yeah.
It was just like all of this malicious, like it was like an onslaught.
That's weird.
I had a couple hackers and would-be virus implanters.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. They were just going at it hard, and then it's died down now.
There must have been some sort of infrastructure firewall that went down. They must have had to have breached something in order to
makes sense.
The pipeline, and it probably compromised the security of a bunch of different networks.
Yeah, it's some Russian hacking black hat group. They call themselves Darkside. And
of course they do.
Yeah, you know what they did? They held the whatever company that runs the gas line. It was basically extortion. They said, "Give us money, and we'll let you turn your pipeline back on."
And they did.
I think they paid them off. Yeah. I think they paid them off. And like, well, we're going to give all the money to charity, so it's fine. They're going to give the money to charity.
Russia doesn't give money to charity.
They do bad things.
Deductible.
Yeah, it's all
okay.
Deductible. Yeah,
I will give you your extortion money.
Yeah.
But can I write that off?
Yeah, I can write that off, right? Do you guys validate? Can I get receipts?
Yeah.
Look, because the IRS is really going to ask questions about this one. So.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, it was a crazy
Yeah,
one.
why couldn't they hack the IRS?
Oh gosh, no kidding.
Shut down the IRS.
You know how easy that would be? They have like the most antiquated everything.
Yeah.
They have the most antiquated everything.
I know. I got so probably shouldn't even say. I got so excited about 20 years ago. And this is like I was 18, so I like was barely even, like you have the jobs you have when you're 18, so it's not like you felt the sting of taxes. But I watched mom and dad fight the IRS.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For
like
a
lot of fights.
20 years, being independent. And so I've had a hatred of them since the beginning. And there was one dude who kamikazed his plane into the IRS building. Do you remember this?
No.
This was after Oklahoma City. This wasn't This wasn't like a domestic terrorist attack. It was just like some crazy dude was just mad about taxes and just
so he decided to.
Yeah, he had like some little like twin engine prop plane or maybe single engine prop plane. I can't remember exactly.
This? I gotta find. Man flies plane.
And it hardly did any damage or anything. It wasn't a very large building and it wasn't a large plane.
Oh yeah.
But man,
bitter pilot crashes plane into IRS building.
The saddest thing is like it didn't really do anything. Like,
it was on Dad's birthday.
Was it really?
It's this story came out on oddly enough February 18th. So it was the day before Dad's birthday. What's the guy's name? Andrew Joseph Stack III. To Andrew.
May you fly on the wings of angels. All I'm going to say is unconstitutional, unregulated agency.
Yeah. The only reason we have it. What administration did the IRS get chartered under or commissioned under or whatever?
I think it had. I want to say FDR. I want to say FDR because I think it was part of the Social Security system.
Yeah.
Because it was only supposed to be a temporary thing in order to get us out of the Great Depression, but that's not how government works. Government never gives anything back after it takes something from you. I mean, I'll tell you, I honestly think it was an act of God that the assault weapons ban sunsetted in the early to mid 2000s, because that's what created the AR-15 boom. Before that, it's hard to imagine, but really from what I can remember, before the assault weapons ban sunsetted under Bush 40, what was it? Bush 43? Yeah, Bush 43, Bush Jr. Really, AR-15s were not America's sweetheart rifle or anything. We were only a couple years in the Iraq War, so there weren't a lot of veterans coming back yet, generating that culture, that like military culture. And so really, like, it just, I mean, people had them, but they weren't fetishized like they have been. And it's really hard to imagine that now. I mean, and the thing is, like, everybody thinks about, AR-15 and like mass shooting. But the truth is, AR-15s are they're involved in like something like 3% of the mass shootings. All the mass shootings are handguns. Yeah. Because you can't conceal, you can't conceal most AR-15s. True. So, anyways, but that's like the one time that I can think of when government restriction actually was rolled back. It successfully died on the vine. Yeah. And there wasn't any big push to renew it. And because there wasn't, it opened up this massive industry. I mean, multi-billion-dollar industry. I watched the gun industry explode.
Yeah, you're in it.
I was in it. I'm going right back to it. And of course, a large part of it is fear-driven. Anytime there's any sort of a gun scare, like
now's a great time to be in the gun business.
Yeah, now's a great time to be selling guns. Or ammo. The first couple years that Trump was in office, not a good time, because the market.
People weren't afraid.
Yeah, people weren't afraid. But even beyond the fear-based nature of the market of having your rights taken away from you or whatever, because like Adam, you had mentioned it before, it is such an intrinsic part of American identity, that we really do feel like you're amputating something from us whenever that comes under threat. But even beyond that, the boom that happened in the mid 2000s was really substantial, because it was just.
I have an AR. I have an
Kind of a
AR-15.
fringe thing.
How many?
Yeah.
The question for him is not does he have one. The question is how many AR-15s
Yeah. I forget.
are you
sometimes.
willing to admit to owning
I mean, I'll tell you.
on the books?
Like, yeah, on the yeah. Well, Uncle Sam. Well, my benevolent overlords.
And by own one, I mean I used to have one.
Right. No, that terrible
And no
boating
longer
accident.
do.
Yeah. That terrible boating accident cost me all of them. Oh, well, you know. I will say this. There was one day where I was doing some rearranging in my room with all my stuff, and I opened up a Pelican case. I looked at it, I was like, I don't remember this. Like, what's in this thing? You know, and I opened it up, and I had 2 ARs in there that I had totally forgotten about.
Wow.
That, like, with their optics and their slings and their accoutrement, it was like $5,000 worth of firearms that I totally forgot about.
Wow.
That's a great thing about having a lot of stuff like that. It's like, if you just wait around, like, eventually it's like Christmas in July, because you'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot. This is great. Boy, I've been wanting one of these, and it turns out I had one the whole time. I'll tell you something that made me think of you, Adam, was I've been reading this book by John Ross called Unintended Consequences, which is like one of those no naughty books.
Oh.
It's like out of print. It came out in the mid-90s after Ruby Ridge and Waco, and it's all about gun culture and everything. But anyways, there's this whole there are 2 or 3 plots in that book, and that book is kind of like the Gulag Archipelago of gun culture. It's just like 860 pages of just one madman screaming about gun rights and infringements, you know, in the Second Amendment. But there's this whole like subplot of safaris, African and Indian safaris.
Oh yeah.
And they use it takes place like in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So we're dealing with older calibers, but they really spend a lot of time talking about like big bore hunting rifles, like the kind that Sean Connery uses, you know, in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And dude, I'll tell you, like that stuff that's cool, and it's expensive, man. Double guns, oof. You like if you're lucky, you're spending $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we like it.
Can you still get those in England? No, not even as like antiques or curios.
You can get them as antiques, but they'll be deactivated, so you can't use them.
Yeah, but you guys can still have like over under shotguns and stuff, right? Or side by side. Yeah.
Side by side, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's still beautiful, man. And you know the craftsmanship. Was that
home defense, baby?
Yeah, dude. I watched a really cool. I went to a terminal ballistics lecture last year that was really informative. I had always thought number 8 or number 9 double-aught buckshot was the preferred cartridge or shell to have in your shotgun for home defense. But at this terminal ballistics lecture, we were watching ballistic gel tests. And it turns out the best one to have is a 1-ounce slug out of everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And a couple of reasons. One, number 9 double-aught buckshot, as effective as it is, because it's like, you know, what, 8 or 9 30 caliber pellets coming at you. The spread is about 1 inch for every yard. So you got to think like, okay, even from one end of your house to the other, you know, you think about most houses. I mean, from the back door to the front door, you know, you're looking at a spread of maybe that, you know, like maybe
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a foot, you know, and how effective is it at that point? I mean, it would ruin my day, but still, you know, and in most cases, you're looking at, you know, a spread of about that, which everybody thinks that you just, you know, you point the shotgun over here, problem over here, no more problem. You know, it's just that Bill Burr routine, but it's not quite like that. You know, you really have to get about 10 yards, about 30 feet out before you have a decent spread on double-aught. So it's like you also have a problem with because they don't fragment the way they should, or they get deformed coming out, you know, depending on a couple of different factors. there's a little bit of a risk compared to slugs of overpenetration. It's not really bad. It's not overpenetration in the classical sense, but slugs maintain and they penetrate deeper, but they don't overpenetrate as far as like breaking through a bunch of different barriers. They lose their velocity the second they hit that first barrier, whatever it is. Because instead of it being a bunch of little needle-like projectiles that are traveling through things, it's just one big chunk. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. And all that to say, really the best thing for home defense is really just a 1 ounce slug, because you're not getting a spread with a 1 ounce slug. It maintains. It doesn't break apart or anything. But you know what? Double-aught buckshot doesn't spread enough to really help you there anyways in most distances. And so, in the slug, man, I mean, the permanent wound cavity on that is
glorious.
It just just everything you want.
Shoot. I was not expecting that. That's funny. That's funny.
Just a little, you gotta throw a wing on it every now and then.
Okay, this thing isn't working. I'm gonna set it here.
Yeah.
Like this. Actually, let's scoot this back so everyone can see this amazing.
I know, it is really cool.
Coaster. It's super cool. There, can you see right there? Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, there we go.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. You know what I love about Nick, Adam, is Nick's got a little bit of Clark Griswold in him.
I got a lot of Clark Griswold in me.
It's just like, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. You know, he's just like chugging eggnog in the corner, you know?
True.
I think that comes with dad territory. That comes with being a dad.
Just trying to keep it positive. Just trying to keep it positive when the world's burning down around you.
Yep.
Adam, do you have those moments where it fix the newel post? You know?
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. But your kids are at that like perfect age where it seems like they haven't hit like teenage years yet, but they're old enough to like really want to make you happy, you know, and kind of be buddy. No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Susie has definitely just slammed into the teenage year wall.
Has she really?
Oh yeah. But can Daddy have a hug, Susie? No. Why not? No. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right. You
Can
almost
I have a hug? Don't touch me.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you ever have those moments where you just want to be like, all right, well, I'll see you in 6 years, you know?
Just checking if Dee's listening.
Yeah, don't let me get you in trouble. You know. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You know. No, never. Not in the least. He's like, Adam's like blinking Morse code, like, you know.
Save me.
Yeah, like a Viet Cong prisoner.
Change.
Yeah.
Topic.
Yeah. Typewriter, one off. Get to it.
All right. On that note, then, we will go to typewriter one-offs.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a segue.
We'll save our skins.
Let's say, Adam, you want to go first, or no?
She's watching.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know. I've already got you in trouble. I'm sorry. D, listen, it's not Adam's fault. I make husbands look good. You know, I'm like the little troll.
She's smiling.
Yeah,
We might have
okay.
got away with it
Yeah, good for now. Yeah,
for now.
we'll take it. God, he's a sweetheart. Okay, typewriter one off.
Yeah.
Let's see, Adam, do you want to go first, or do you want one of us to go first?
No, I'll go first.
Yeah.
All right.
See, I knew he'd say that. Sweet. Okay.
This
Whenever
one's a
you're
bit
ready.
different.
Okay.
Bit different. He awakes to the feeling of longing deep in the pit of his stomach. He reaches towards the bedside table and gropes, looking for the one thing which will fill the void he feels in his soul. As his shaking hand reaches across the bedside table, desperately searching, he remembers the day before. promising his children, friends, and family he would stop and change his life for the better. He lays there, unable to move as the panic and fear overtakes his very being. His body shakes and quivers. He cries out with random words mixed with tears, feeling like the sky is falling upon him. His friend Kay runs in and asks if he's okay, but retreats when the abuse and torrent of emotion becomes too much for him, running as he always did when around, only with his top half visible. Maybe there is a small bit hiding in the carpet. This sudden realization hits with the force of a freight train, and before he knows it, he's on his hands and knees licking the carpet desperately for that one tiny speck to touch his tongue. A voice hits him with all the delicacy of a brick through a plate glass window. He has been caught, and all he could think to do was squeeze under the bed and hide until they leave. They try calling him out, but he ignores them, holding his eyes tight to stop the rolling and googly eyes which seem to constantly haunt him. A slow smile comes across his face as he remembers where they all went. In the rubbish bin in the garden. With a shriek, he jumps from the bedroom window and lands on the lid of the rubbish bin, which collapses under his weight. His blue fur becomes matted with all the rubbish and other things he is digging through until he sees it. Like a light in the dark, sparkling at the bottom of the bin. From within the house, all his friends hear is, "Cookie! Num 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 num." Kermit and Miss Piggy just shake their heads in shame.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Muppets and Sesame Street.
I love it. Yeah, it had to be like, okay, it's either going to be like a crack fiend, a dog, or both Muppet.
I was thinking dog till you said blue fur, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I know what's up. That was great. That was fun.
Where'd you get the inspiration for that?
Susie.
Susie? That's cute.
Nice.
I said to her, I want to do, because I've done serious ones all the rest of the time. And I said, I need to do something funnier, Susie. Her first suggestion was, well, have you tried letting them look at your face? And then we went from there.
Typical teenager, going for blood, baby. Yeah. Dude, I don't know if there's any force on Earth more destructive than like a tween or teen girl's sass. Like,
I don't know.
You know, like,
I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get like the full measure.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awful.
Yeah, like little girls, man. They have like my other nieces were always really good at that. They could just their sass and their little like their ability to just like just cut you down in a heartbeat.
Yep.
You know.
I can always remember she came home from school and she said, I said, have you had a good day? No. Well, my day was bad too, Susie. Really? Well, at least you get paid.
I mean, right. That's the thing. Like,
brilliant.
How do you argue with
True.
that?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can't.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you sit there, you're like, I'm a grown up. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
How did
Well,
yeah. And she's right.
at least
That's the worst bit.
Yeah. That's a hard thing about kids. Like, out of the mouths of babes, man. Like, when they cut you like that, you can't, you can't cognitively.
It hurts.
reframe
Yeah,
it.
no.
I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, being beaten that quickly in the conversation was just like, go tidy your room.
Right.
Just go,
Yeah.
tidy your room.
Yeah. At least she's smart, right? Like,
Oh, yeah, she's smart.
That's a good brain. So that'll serve her well. Yeah.
All right, well, let's see who goes next.
Oh yeah. All right.
Ready? Here we go.
1, 2, 3, shoot. All right.
You go.
Off we go. All right. Chester was not finished. Somehow he had survived his bath with Mr. Mufflemittens. It had been a mess for all parties involved. A veritable storm of wet patches of fur, tendrils of drool, and hailing gals of barks, whines, yowls, and howls. Boy Human knew there would be blood, and they did not disappoint. He sat in front of the toilet when it was all over, leaning against the bowl with his elbows on his haunches, applying pressure to the bleeding cat scratches lacing his arms. Chester panted. His human panted too. "Well, buddy," the boy human said with a sigh, "I think it'll be a long time before we try that one again." Chester was relieved to hear it. He could never see the white porcelain insides of a bathtub again, and he could die happy. He thought about how it was a shame that there were not canine therapists. Oh, they existed, but a master was considered a crackpot by the neighbors if he got caught paying good money to some poorly socialized weirdo in odd clothing to come over and diagnose, let alone treat, your dog. Chester knew that if he ever wanted to see Valhalla or go for a walk again, he would have to suffer in silence. Such was the price of the pack. If he ever wanted to be an alpha, he would have to start preparing now. The core tenet of leadership, after all, was sacrifice. But Chester was bound and determined to do one thing for himself. Above all else, beyond not going potty in the house, staying out of his master's way, not eating grass, and getting into Mr. Mufflemitten's litter box, Chester had set it in his mind to be an extra good boy for the next 2 months. That should be enough time for Boy Human to forget. It was practically a year of good behavior and dog time. But he had suffered at the hands of that furry 5-pound trans-dimensional tyrant for far too long. As had his as had his master. Boy Human did not know what was good for him sometimes. He also must be protected from himself. Sometimes man's best friend had to throw himself on a sword, hoist himself up on a cross, or leap upon the hand grenade to save his pack. The boys at Valhalla called it biting the demon vacuum cleaner. You knew you couldn't win, that your teeth weren't sharp enough and your jaw was not strong enough to pierce that otherworldly, noisy carapace of plastic and machinery. But you had to try. There was nobility in the attempt. Chester's midnight run on Mr. Mufflemittens would be no different. He had seen what had happened to other dogs foolhardy enough to take on these barely domesticated miniature tigers from hell, and he would be lying if he said he was not afraid. But something had to be done. The cat would be the end of them. Boy Human could not see it, but Chester saw. He knew. The cat was its most vulnerable mid-morning, when it slumbered after breakfast. At night, and bookended by the crepuscular hours, it was an unholy terror. But around mid-morning, when the sun was high, Master was at work, and Chester had the mailman's first run to get his blood thundering with adrenaline, that would be the time to strike. Like gladiators in the arena, they would have their time of glory. They would have their time in the sun. 2 would enter, 1 would leave. This town ain't big enough for the both of them. An age-old contest, a bitter struggle. May the best pet win.
Yeah. Well done. Oh. Well,
Had enough.
Dang it. Well, mine isn't pet related, but it is a little more lighthearted.
Yeah.
And it's double. It's 2 sides, but it's double spaced, so it's like a single space one.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah.
There's really, there's nothing here that I'm not going to read any of this. This isn't part of it. This is just scratch paper that I got.
Okay, sure.
I was in a hurry.
Oh, yeah. I got a couple of those, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
But before I do,
Yeah.
let's do a little top off.
Oh, yeah.
Do a little top. You want something?
Yeah, I'll take a little bit more.
Something I'll do.
Yeah.
That should be good.
You only get 1 liver. Why treat it well?
Yep. Yeah, great.
It's probably all I need, or I'll be yelling at the waitresses at, we'll start an international incident at Amigos, Call Interpol.
All right. Here we go.
Adam, are you drinking anything, by the way?
He's got his tea, right?
Yeah.
Black tea.
Yeah.
Starbucks cup. Very nice.
Yeah,
I like that mug.
Goes well with the face.
All right, here we go. Easel stepped up to the plate. The bases were empty, of course. There were only 9 children playing ball that day. Just enough to fill each position, which rarely ever happened. But the summer break blues, that's what the team unofficially called themselves, found themselves in a position to field an entire team for a change. The only problem was that they needed a batter. Easel had been spotted on his walk back from the library and ordered by the Blues captain, Tank, to grab a bat. Easel resisted at first and just kept walking, his hands jammed into his pockets and his book bag loosely bouncing off his lower back. "I said grab a bat, turd." Tank smacked his closed fist into the pocket of his mitt, and then he spit. A dark brown comet of tobacco juice sluiced from between his oversized front teeth. The spittle matched the color of Tank's freckles that marched across the bridge of his nose and the stain forming at the right corner of his foul mouth. "We finally got a full team and need a batter." Easel dropped his book bag next to the chain-link dugout and grabbed an old gray bat. It was cracked and rotted. The bandage taped around the handle was the only sliver-safe area. He walked up to home plate, gave a couple of practice swings. Tank assumed his pitching posture and snarled at Easel. Why did I agree to this? Easel thought. It was obvious what Tank was up to. The look in his eyes meant only one thing. Easel dropped to his knees as soon as the ball left Tank's hand. It sailed directly through the space that a second before was occupied by Easel's oversized nerd brain. "Strike!" called Humphrey, who was acting as both catcher and umpire. It was a bogus call, but Easel knew better than to argue. Tank's next pitch was low and outside. Easel didn't bother swinging at that one either. "Strike two!" Humphrey called for all to hear. Kids in the outfield were kicking the tops of dandelions to deal with the boredom. The infielders were jeering at Easel's cowardice. Tank fanned the flames of their unrest. "You got to swing that bat if you're interested in hitting the ball, turd." Easel stepped back from the plate to clear his head. He noticed that the right fielder was playing way too shallow. It was green grass for what seemed like miles between him and the fence. The left fielder was playing deep, anticipating Easel's fly ball should the turd actually make contact with the pitch. Easel stepped to the other side of the plate and switched hands. In the most nerdy fashion he can muster, he shouted back at Tank, "You wouldn't need your girlfriend here to call all your pitches as strikes if you knew how to just put one over the plate." You could hear a pin drop. Nobody dared laugh. Tank was trembling with rage and sluiced out another brown wad of spit. Easel waited with the old gray bat on his left shoulder. The ball sailed from Tank's meaty hand. It screamed murder as it came in over the plate, low and dead center. Crack! It was not a sound anyone expected to hear. But Easel casually dropped the old bat and walked over to the dugout. He grabbed his book bag and slung it over his shoulder. The ball sailed deep into right field and over the fence. Home run.
Yeah.
Tank turned back to Easel, who had returned to the infield with his book bag on his back. His hands were shoved into his pockets, and he walked as slowly as he could force himself around the bases. With his book bag.
What inspired that?
I was playing baseball with the kids.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple days ago.
Yeah. How much inspiration do you think comes from the kids? Or just day to day?
I don't know how to quantify that.
Yeah.
I think the lighthearted stuff, a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dark stuff, that doesn't come from.
That's good.
That doesn't come from my family.
Yeah. Not yet.
That comes from the past.
Yeah. That comes from the outside.
That comes from, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It comes from my boss and my job.
Yeah. Yeah. Comes from my life, my life outside of this castle.
Politics and work and blah.
Dude, I had one. The only reason I'm not reading it today is because I didn't have time to type it up, but it's probably a good thing.
Murder, Death, and Demons?
Well, I had a political one. I had a screed. Yeah.
Murder, Death, Democrats, and Demons.
Murder, Death, and Democrats. Democrats, demons. What's the difference? Yeah, whatever. You know?
Democrats.
Yeah. Adam, what about you? Where does because you have, dude, Adam's banked a ton. Like last time we checked, Adam, you said you had like 30 something banked. Yeah.
Nice.
So where does a lot of that come from?
It's very impressive.
Yeah, it is.
History.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot comes from history. The kids.
Yeah.
The like Nick, the light-hearted stuff comes from the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
The darker, deeper, mysterious.
That comes from my soul.
From my soul, fool. I pity the fool.
I pity the fool who wants to look into my soul, stare into my eye. What kind of history do you gravitate towards, Adam?
Medieval, all the way through to like Henry VIII, Tudor times, Victorian.
Is there one particular motif, series of events, or location that you find yourself keep coming back to? Like some people keep coming back to, like, Thermopylae era Sparta, or Hadrian Wall, England, or whatever. So is there anything like that for you?
It'd be Victorian England, around London.
Yeah, that Jack the Ripper kind of thing. Yeah,
that's a very
that sort of Jack the Ripper, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen sort of era vibe.
221 Baker Street.
When everything was new. Let's be honest, everything in Victorian times, everything was new.
Yeah, there was that. Yeah, because it was, in fact, Delta and I sometimes talk about that, how, like, arguably the worst thing that ever happened to humanity is, like, the Industrial Revolution, but at the same time, all of your, like, Wild West innovations of civilization, all of your brand new, like, it felt like the Wild West. It felt like landing on the moon. It felt like Lewis and Clark, all this new stuff.
Could you imagine? So we say, oh, we're going to go look at a submarine. Okay. Whereas back then, we're going to go look at a submarine. Oh, what?
Oh, what? Yeah.
What? Under the water?
Yeah, you mean the boat?
You're going to die.
Sink?
You're going to die, man. You're dead.
Yeah.
You're dead.
You all dead. I ain't getting on that boat. I get on that boat if it stay on top of the waves. We ain't going
to want me to get in that when it goes down?
He's like, all right, let me get this straight. You're going to get on the boat, but the boat goes under the water.
And then you're going to keep going.
Right. But you're going to breathe.
But you're going to keep going and you're not going to drown.
The boat's not on the water?
Why don't you just, like, stay on top of the water and not drown?
Pretty sure you can breathe and go faster on top of the water.
Yeah, I mean, how do you use the wind under the water? And, I mean, what are you going to fight, like, a sea creature under there? You're going to go swimming around the
whales? How do the sails work under the water? That doesn't make sense.
But you got a team of little people pedaling in the back? You got banks of Oompa Loompas just pedaling their little oars,
But it's the weird stuff as well. It's the weird stuff as well. So, like, there's a ship in Bristol called HMS Warrior, and it's got a huge coal engine in it.
Really?
And they said, and I went and I was looking around it, and they went, yeah, of course, the engine wasn't used very much.
Really?
Well, no, they used the sails. They used the sails normally. They only used the engine if they needed it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And you're like, wait, so you have so many questions at that point. Like, okay, was coal a precious commodity at the time? Like, was it wood burning? Like, were they afraid?
This thing took up nearly a third of the internal space of the ship.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was one of the very, very first engines put in a ship. And you're going, so you can't take cargo because you've got no space.
Yeah.
You can take a third of the passengers because you've got no space, but you're not going to use it?
Yeah. I mean, So did it burn wood, coal, or just anything? Coal. 1860. We're pulling up a picture of it right now. Man, that is massive. Look at that thing, dude.
That's a big one. Here, let me do this. Boom, boom, boom.
Technically, what would that ship be rated as? Would that be like a rated ship of the line, or would that still be classified as a frigate, or what?
That was a frigate.
That's a frigate. That's big, man. Are those smokestacks on there?
Yeah, those are smokestacks.
Dude, that's cool.
But it's still got the 3-mast full rigging.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that foremast looks bigger than the main mast.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because usually when you have like a triple-masted ship, it's like the main mast is the big one, and then you get your foremast. There might be a different term for the mast up front. I can't remember.
That's a foremast.
And then your mizzen mast is usually your smallest one. Man, that's cool, though.
Yes. I mean, it's a cool ship, but I mean, you think about, a third plus of the space all being taken up just for, an engine that they can.
Were they worried that using it might get out of hand and burn the ship down? Maybe
It was that. It was all about how. What's the word? How badly it worked. So although it was brand new and it's a great idea and everything else, what it wasn't is actually very, very good at working.
It's just kind of inefficient.
Yeah, very inefficient.
That's kind of that's the charm of that industrial revolution kind of era of, and I guess even pre-industrial. Yeah, just that everything being new, everything is also like kind of crappy and dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's like, just, you can use this thing, but literally every day is an adventure, because you never know like what somebody's going to come out with, and it might kill you. Kind of
like spiritualism, also on the rise at the time.
Yeah, that's right.
There's an interesting correlation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other one that's awesome to go and look at is the Mary Rose.
The Mary Rose.
The Mary Rose. Tell me about that one while I look it up here.
The Mary Rose was King Henry VIII's flagship.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
And it sank as it left the harbour. So it actually sank as it left harbour. It was that top heavy, that full of people, that it sank as it left the harbour. And Henry VIII, who'd stood there to watch it go, actually stood and watched his flagship heel over in front of him.
Oh my gosh,
man! Poor guy, just couldn't catch a break,
And they
put one
then found it. Wait a minute, let me see if I can do this. Can I do this? Can I screen share?
He just put all the Catholics on there. That's all.
So that, you see that?
Get a divorce.
How about this one? There we go.
So that,
yeah,
I've got that is actually what's left of it. They actually excavated it off the bottom of the sea, and they've got it preserved.
That's amazing. That is huge.
Yeah.
Wow. And also, I would love to see, I'm sure there's a documentary about it somewhere. I would love to see what the excavation process looks like.
Oh, I hate to think how complicated it must have been.
Yeah.
Because you'll see in this photo I've just put up, do you see my screen?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
So you see the misting effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's actually a polymer, water and polymer that they're spraying the ship with to preserve it. So they're replacing all the moisture with plastic.
Wow. Dude, that's awesome.
Wow.
I can only imagine, excavating something like that relatively intact. I mean, they must have built some sort of apparatus around it and just slowly changed the pressure and lifted it.
You can see the size there. So this is the viewing walkway you've got.
Man, that's awesome. There's a really
How
cool,
did it sink and why? Who
Yeah,
was there foul play involved or
like the Titanic?
No, it was a really rough day.
Yeah.
They changed the design halfway through and added another level on top of the fore and aft castle.
Why did they do that?
Because he'd put 1,000 soldiers on board.
I see.
So he'd got archers and soldiers all along the top 2 decks ready to fight. The wind came in, hit it on the side. The sea hit it on the side as it was trying to turn out of Portsmouth Harbour. And the whole thing
rolled over.
Yeah, capsized. Wow.
Top heavy.
Did it fully capsize or did it just flop over?
Yeah.
Wow, dude. It's a bad
Henry
day.
VIII himself was quite the top heavy man.
Yeah, I mean, in true fashion with
Yeah.
Henry VIII. Yeah,
Just
you know.
everything was just
everything was
Yeah.
just big and heavy.
yeah.
It
Over
cost
over
the
the top.
lives of over 400 men.
Wow.
That
Well, you know,
accident.
not everybody can say they've killed 400 men in one day. You know. But
Especially of his own men.
yeah, right. Yeah. Henry VIII, baby. You know, he's the original OG big pimpin'.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah.
He was
And then of course, I've shown you this one before.
big Daddy
Yeah.
H.
HMS Victory.
Oh yeah, the Victory. That's a beautiful ship.
That was
Lord
Nelson's ship. Yep, that's
yeah.
right.
Is that in
Lord
Trafalgar Square?
No, that is at Portsmouth Harbour.
That's in Portsmouth Harbor. That's right. You told me that before. That's right.
Yeah, that's at Portsmouth, and you can go round and look through it all.
That's neat.
God, that is cool, man. That is a sexy looking ship. You know, there's a great book. I can't remember if you read it too, but there's a great book on that called Nelson's Trafalgar, which is really just about primarily that battle, but really just that whole surrounding circumstances and era, and it's got some great descriptions of the actual battle itself.
Man, that is fantastic. Wow, that thing is huge.
I know, isn't that? You never really. You have to see a picture like that in scale
To really get an idea.
to
yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, so many people. That's the thing about like legacy and tradition that people don't get. I mean, there is something to be said for like, okay, it's old tech, we moved on, blah blah blah. But there's a common denigration of our ancestors that is so easy to for people to do in modern pop culture, and that's kind of what the Gosslings is meant to sort of fight against. Is that like, look, can you build a ship like that?
Yeah. Give it a try. Try it sometime.
Yeah, try it sometime. Yeah. As coming from somebody who actually did build a boat, like, try and build.
I built a wooden bathtub that was only 10 feet long and it floated.
It did float.
The thing is, it's just the rigging that astounds me. You look at the rigging on those things, and it's like
It's complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a complex system.
Yeah. And those guys had to know what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's a real, in a way, like that's a real credit to the character and just the hardiness of, the English character, that like a lot of those guys were pressed into service.
Yep.
And I mean, dude, pressed into service and then to be really good at it and not just immediately frag all of your officers and just be like, we're floating to France.
Which happens sometimes.
I guess it did. Yeah, it had
Sometimes.
to have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yeah, Herman Melville wrote a story about something similar to called Billy Budd Sailor.
Billy Budd Sailor. Really?
Yeah, Billy Budd Sailor is about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Same thing?
Yeah. He's this happy-go-lucky sailor. Everyone loves him, and he's pressed into the service.
Wow.
And then a mutiny takes place. He didn't lead it, but they all blame it on him because he's so charismatic and everyone loves him, so they think that he leads it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
he takes the fall for it.
But Melville was an American writer.
Yeah.
Did it take place during the Napoleonic War?
Early 1800s. I mean,
That would have been
around
close,
there.
right? Yeah.
Somewhere.
Turn of the century. That's a fascinating time.
Yeah, for
Yeah, it
sure.
is.
Yeah. Well, because like, especially from a British Empire perspective, because that arguably, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but that kind of seemed like the halcyon days of the British.
Yeah, that was the height.
You know,
between 1800 and 1900 was our time.
Yeah.
We did rule the waves, as it were.
Yeah.
Our navy was second to none. And you look at Dreadnought when it came along, and all of those.
Is there? So we kind of only know what we know. We love Master and Commander. Is there anything that you know of, like Horatio Hornblower or anything like that, like from that time? Yeah, dude, Horatio Hornblower is cool. Yeah,
Hornblower.
Yeah. Is there anything else that really competes as far as like accuracy, historical accuracy, and production value?
Steve, what was the one with Sean Bean in it?
Sharps.
Thank you. Sharp.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that. That's really good too.
Good?
Yeah, so it's a series of books, and I got a bunch of the books. I ordered there was like a whole set of them for like $5 on eBay.
Okay.
A while back. It's like I gotta have them, and but the show, Adam, the show was like in the early '90s. Is that right?
Yeah, early to mid '90s.
Yeah.
You had Sean Bean as, and it basically they start with him being very low in the ranks and pretty much for nobody, and it progresses until he's way up the ranks and he's become quite the recognized soldier.
And if I remember correctly, he's part of a group of are they? I can't remember if they're like grenadiers or no, they're sharpshooters. Or are they the same thing?
Same thing.
Same thing. That's what I thought. Because they had like green uniforms, right? Like a sort of dark green uniform, and it's Sean Bean being Sean Bean, man. It's awesome. It's
cool.
Like one of the greatest, unsung actors.
If you thought he was good in Lord of the Rings,
he
was better in Sharp.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool. Very cool.
And it was a series of seasons. I can't remember how many, but it did follow quite a few different. Like they adapted quite a few of the books, sort of like what they did with Master and Commander. So, yeah, it's pretty neat, man. And it's like the only thing that Sean Bean has been in where he doesn't die or get kicked out. Because like even in Ronin, like dude, he's a great actor, right?
Yeah,
and he plays.
He gets kicked out.
Give him
Plays
the
the arrogant hotshot.
That's a good movie too, man. Ronin is killer.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. Ronin's fantastic.
I don't know if this is like really off base or not, but I genuinely, the more I sit and think about it, it's not romantic or iconic, but Boromir I think is my favorite character in Lord of the Rings.
Think so?
I think and partially because it's Sean Bean. Like dude, it's Sean Bean. He's cool.
Yeah.
But that's such a human character in like a cast full of superheroes. Because like Aragorn is awesome, but he's a Numenorian, right? So he's like a superhuman. And there's a Legolas who's the elf prince. There's Gimli who's the dwarf prince.
Yeah.
There's like Gandalf who's like literally an angel. And then there are the hobbits who are like, whatever. Like you can make the same case for the hobbits, I guess. But Boromir was such a fascinating. Like I think he's the most complex of the characters because he really fights the temptation to use the ring to save his own people. Like that's the whole reason why he's there. And
he's got that very classic demanding what he wants, hasn't he? When he goes after Frodo, to suddenly realizing what he's done. And doing that big for forgiveness and that want to do the right thing.
And that atonement, Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though he fails, it's I don't know if there's a more evocative moment. It's just emotionally impactful moment in that whole trilogy than like the death of Boromir.
Yeah, that's a powerful moment.
Yeah.
The only one that comes close is Theoden. When he passes.
Oh, yeah. Man, and Theoden's speech. Oh, my gosh. That guy, he has some great George or Bernard. I can't remember his. It's Bernard something.
He was the king of Rohan, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
King Theoden.
Yeah.
He's got some great moments, man.
Yeah, he
Oh, he
did.
has.
Gosh. There's a really cool video on YouTube where they go into detail about the I think it's the Wanderer, the Nordic poem that they kind of reference in the Two Towers. There's that point where he's burying I guess he's burying his son, and they're talking about, where's the rider, where's the they pass like wind on the meadow, or whatever. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's from an actual medieval poem that talks about like this vagabond wanderer without his people, and I think it's Scandinavian or Nordic or something. It's beautiful though. It's I think if you just look up like King Theoden, Lord of the Rings, The Wanderer, or something like that, you'll find it on YouTube. It's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Very cool.
yeah, Theoden's awesome, man. And that speech, that ere the sun rises speech before the charge, dude.
Yes.
Surpassed only by the 13th Warrior.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, in my opinion, that's the best scene in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
Is at the end of Two Towers when they're in Helm's Deep and they charge out.
Yeah.
Against all odds, knowing
over the top.
Yeah, they come over the eastern ridge and they come, they're saved at the last second. Spoiler alert for people who are illiterate.
I know they have the similar effect when the Army of the Dead arrive.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That
cathartic. It's so underdone.
Yeah.
It's like, the Army of the Dead. Oh, they're all dead.
Yeah, right. Well, because they just sort of sweep that green mist sweeps through, and it doesn't have quite the same impact as Gandalf and Éomer showing up, because those guys and you like those guys.
Yep.
Like Éomer's a cool character. He's that kind of like outcast, but he's kind of a victim of circumstance. Like, he's not a bad dude, right? But he's not, I don't know, for whatever reason, I can't remember the details, but he's not really favored in the court. I think it was just Grima Wormtongue.
It was Grima Wormtongue, yes.
Right, yeah. And so, but they did that really special thing. I still don't remember how they did it. They must have used some sort of forced perspective thing. But the moment when Gandalf shows up on the ridge.
Yeah.
But then right after that, when all the Rohirrim just
behind him,
and they rush up. There's something like it. They didn't speed the film up. Yeah, but like however they did it, it wasn't a natural speed, but it wasn't sped up film.
Yeah,
they must have. I don't know how they did that, but it just like all of a sudden they're just there.
Yep.
It's so gratifying.
No, I've always watched that Army of the Dead, and it's like, the Army of the Dead here. It's going to be it's not a good
like, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
Elephant's dead.
We're gonna find it. I'm just jonesing for it now. Let's see if we can rip it off YouTube here.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna put.
It's YouTube within YouTube. Yep.
Helm's
Deep.
I don't need the full battle. I'm just gonna put.
Gandalf arrives. There it is.
Where is it? Oh, right here.
Yep,
okay.
right there.
All right. And
we're YouTubing.
Yeah. Here we go. Ready?
Can we? Yeah. There you go.
Oh, son of a. Okay. There we go.
Enjoy this commercial from Tampax.
Here we go.
I'm sorry.
Skip it.
It's funnier in my head.
Right out to meet them. Don't be a pain, out to meet them. He's looking old.
Yeah. John Rhys Davies is killer though.
Oh yeah. Right.
Horn of Helm Hammerhand shall sound in the deep. One
I love how Gimli's the one sent to blow the horn.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Expert movie making too, considering how big John Rhys Davies is.
Here you go.
Because he's like what, 6'4" in real life?
Yep.
Yeah, he's huge. Now for Wrath, now for Ruin, and the Red Dawn.
That's even cooler than his Return of the King speech. Really, just that line. Yeah, baby.
You could just hear the orcs go, "Oh,
Oh
sugar."
no. Thanks, Saruman.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
love that bit. I love that bit.
Yeah. That is the
Boom.
most gratifying because it's just paving the way.
They're just going just into the belly.
Yeah. Into the heart of darkness.
Stab him with your arrows, Legolas. Here it is. Here it is.
Yeah.
The
baby.
whole thing.
Because I'm here.
Even the Uruk-hai are like, oh.
And I brought chicken minis.
I brought donuts.
Yeah, see how they just like surge forward all of a sudden? Gosh, that's awesome.
Love the steep bank. They come down the steep bank.
Yeah.
You can hear 1,000 orcs crapping their pants all at once.
Yep.
And the set,
Look at that shot. So
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
it's everything you want.
Can't wait
you
for
know?
Chris to see this.
But that Helm's Deep set, it's huge.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I know.
It's I mean it's a miniature, but it's a miniature that's like the size of this room.
Sun blinds them. Oh, that's just brilliant. Lopping off heads.
Yeah,
Oh.
taking his, I mean it's Revelations. You know, that's the beautiful thing about it. Evokes that Christ imagery, that second coming. You know.
Mm-hmm.
The most powerful
Yeah,
writing
sweet.
Well,
often
Yeah,
comes
even better.
from
Let's watch this.
confronting taboos.
well, she's talking about writing, so let's turn her off.
Subjects relate to many people.
We can't have her on there. That might be
That's,
better than
that's
whatever
not
we
her channel. All right, and we're back.
And we're back. No, that's such a glorious moment.
Oh, so good. That was so good.
That was the curse of the Return of the King, man. It's like, how do you top that from a writing?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's tough. Really, the only moment that really did it was when Éowyn kills the Witch King. You know,
Yeah.
that's a cool moment. And I'm
That is a
Mr.
cool
Like,
moment.
I don't think women should be cops. I don't think women should be in the military. I don't think, I'm that guy. But that moment, like even for me, that moment is amazing. That is such a cool, beautiful moment, man.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole reason.
I am no man.
Exactly, yeah. Like the whole reason why she's able to do it is because she's not a man. So she can get around the curse. You know.
Love it.
It's like knowing a wizard's true name or something. It's just it's super cool. I totally I'm sure you probably picked up on this, but I totally ripped that off Adam for Gabriel's arrival in like Empyrean Falling. You know, like dude, it's just it's straight. You know, it's straight Two Towers. You know.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I think even when I wrote it, I was like listening to like the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack or something. There's like this big, I don't remember what it was. Cameron made a mixed CD for me. And there was like this sweeping, really orchestral, beautiful song. It's very emotional, evocative, big song that I was listening to while I was writing it. It's like, oh, this is so amazing.
When I finished recording that chapter, I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and went, I'm in Shakush's Helm's Deep.
It is. It's, yeah, exactly.
What's gone on?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Shut up, Adam. What are you doing? Oh, no one. Yeah, it totally is. It's it's totally Helm's Deep, and that whole moment, like everything about that was just being written to get to that moment, you know. And that's why, like, there's that scene that night, not just where they're making the battle plan, but then when he encounters Giad Al-Thaziel, they've captured him, you know, and Michael has that conversation with him. That, like, that's like, yeah, and he, like, that's the lowest moment for him, you know, because the last time they talked, that's what drove Michael so crazy that he went storming into the throne room, you know, which is arguably maybe like the most important chapter in the whole book, because of the conversation he has with Christ. But so seeing that character again in what is, you know, the dark night of the soul, the nadir moment, you know, is it sets you up for that catharsis moment later on, you know. And so, like, when he's just beaten and you know, Mazarel and Satan are standing over him, they both have the Tomabs. Like, he's lost, you know. He doesn't have any friends around, you know, and then they hear that horn and Satan is like, I know that sound, you know. He turns to Mazarel and he's like, we have a problem, you know? Yeah. He's like, oh, we're screwed. We're screwed. So, They're coming.
Drums in the deep.
Yes, drums in the deep. I'm pretty sure I even ripped that off at some point. I'm pretty sure I have a chapter called like "Drums in the Deep" or "The Deeping Black." There's a lot of a lot of Tolkien thievery that goes on, you know, in the heavenly realms.
Although, interestingly,
that's true. Yeah.
Interestingly,
yeah,
you've done something to me in this last book, Jonathan.
Oh no, I'm sorry. What did I do? Aside from destroy your voice,
I now hate Giad Al-Thaziel.
Do you really? Was it doing the Scottish accent for all of his?
No, it wasn't that. It was just after they've put Christ in the tomb, and Satan has come along and got at Ilthaliel.
Yeah.
And then Ilthaliel looks up to see Satan.
Yeah.
And Asmodeus.
Yeah.
And Giad Al-Thaziel.
Yeah.
It's like, I used to think you were cool.
But I know.
Now, I'm going to still do your Scottish accent, but I don't want to.
You're breaking my heart, Giad.
I don't like you anymore. I prefer Tempest than you.
That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot, Adam. Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Well, I had to, you know, the problem was that for all of those books, up until the last two, up until Primus Illuminati, the sixth one, Althaziel never shows up. He's not in Grey Aegis. He's not, if I remember correctly.
No.
He's not in Sturm and Drang. And you know, and he's a potent force. So it's like, well, what happened to this dude? Like, where has he been? You know, and so I kind of had to explain away with Wayfarers, since it covers all of those time periods, where has this guy been? Because he would have been such a powerful asset to the Fallen. And so I had him, you know, just basically be like a sleeping god, almost a Lovecraftian Cthulhu mythos kind of, you know, slumbering until around the time of Abram and the War of the Four Kings, you know, and that's when he kind of shows up masquerading as Baal. Mm-hmm. Baal is sort of this motif that different Fallen use. Yeah, and they're kind of, you know, and it's usually Giad, but sometimes it's Raloth, and it's sort of mysterious. And so he became a really good antagonist. There's a really cool, I'm looking forward, there's one chapter where that's coming up that I think is probably a ways off still, that might maybe change your mind. I think there's still maybe something there for Giad to sort of.
Oh no, the character I still love, but it's turned from being he's one of my favorite things to I don't like him, but I want to like him, but I don't like him.
Yeah, just such a canker, you know.
He's a naughty boy.
naughty
You're a
boy.
naughty
He's a
boy.
naughty,
He's a naughty boy. Yeah.
He's not the Messiah.
Yeah.
He's Jihad al-Fazil.
But he left the shoe. You know.
Brian,
Following
what
him
are you
around.
doing in there, Brian?
Oh my gosh. We could just talk about Life of Brian. Can we just have a Life of Brian cast?
Yeah.
You know, Life of Brian stream, you know, where we talk about like, well, aside from the roads and the aqueducts and the laws and the safety and the plumbing, you know,
And the stable currency?
the stable currency, what have the Romans ever done for us?
Nothing.
Well, oh, peace. That's what they said. Some guy goes,
Oh, yeah.
peace. Piss off.
Peace.
Oh, dude, it's it's so awesome.
I like it when they're out in the desert and they go, Sire, we are hungry. What can we eat? Well, there is that mulberry bush over there. That's my mulberry bush.
Yeah, there's the one like little vagabond dude like hanging out in the mulberry bush.
Who's taken a vow of silence, hasn't he? I hadn't
Nude
spoken for
hermit with
20
beard.
years till he came along. It's a miracle.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you know, speaking of which, total dovetail, but still really good. I'm not very conflicted about this movie, but Kingdom of Heaven, right? The Crusader movie.
Yeah.
You know, kind of it was Russell Crowe's follow-up, or Ridley Scott's follow-up to Gladiator. Lackluster by comparison to Gladiator. Amazing cast, horrible central lead, you know, arguably a terrible character for your central character too. But David Thewlis as the Hospitaller in that movie, do you remember, you know, the black dude? David Thewlis is so amazing. That movie, the script is so beautiful. Like, that's a movie worth watching just for David Thewlis' scenes as the Hospitaller. Because there's this real, in fact, people have made videos about it. There's this real debate that goes on about whether or not David Thewlis' character is an angel in that movie. Because you know what I mean? Because he's kind of got like that mystical aspect to him, and he's always cool, you know. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's some good writing. You know.
Speaking of crusades, Israel and Palestine are completely. I mean, they're going at it right now, as we all know, right?
Yeah.
And interestingly, Gaza and the West Bank. That's where all the fighting is, right? Those are the contested areas.
Yeah.
Those are the areas that in the Bible Joshua failed to exterminate fully the Nephilim.
No way. Is it really?
And still to this day, those are contested areas. Those are the areas. Gaza and the West Bank.
And that's what the Gosslings get you, ladies and gentlemen. Come here for all of your
Still
esoteric
contested 4,000, 3,000 years later.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So during the conquest, they violated because God commanded them to wipe out everything.
Mm-hmm.
And because there were a couple times where they failed to do that.
They did fail a few times.
Compromised a little bit. And so those were the two places.
Yeah.
That's weird.
They can never fully drive out the Philistines. That's Gaza.
Yeah.
Gaza Strip.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting. Those two areas still in contest.
And speaking of Nephilim, we can go right into our
Let's go into our topic.
our topic for the week. People will be watching this.
What does this have to do with Nephilim?
What could this possibly? Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I requested to talk about this.
Yeah.
And the reason is there's been a rash of sightings of UFOs in the U.S.
Yeah.
By the Navy, by military installation, pilots, not just people having barbecues in their backyard.
Right. Well, there have been a rash of releases of that information.
Releases of that information. And what's interesting is that, and there's a report on CNN. This article right here on CNN. Let me I'll screen share it so you can read. Yeah, please. I'll screen share it so you can look at it. But basically, and this was released just last month, the COVID relief bill that was signed into law by Trump in December of 2020.
Oh, that's right.
Right before he left office,
Yes.
right? In the COVID relief bill, there's a provision in there that the Navy, the Office of Naval Intelligence, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, and the FBI have 180 days to disclose what they know about all of these recorded sightings.
Yeah.
They have to provide detailed analysis, and they have 180 days to do it. That means by the end of June next month, that's the period, that's the deadline for them to come to the Senate Intelligence Committee and tell them what they know about all these things. It is a people want disclosure. They want like formal disclosure.
Yeah, it's like the JFK assassination. It's like,
They
we
wanna
wanna
know-
what you know.
Yeah.
And
And
we deserve to know what
we do,
our government knows.
Not
We
gonna-
pay them.
but fortunately, it's the people doing the analysis, reporting to the Senate Intelligence Committee are the Navy essentially, and then this task force that investigates unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yeah.
And thankfully, fortunately, the FBI, because for a while there, I was like, we're never going to know the truth unless the FBI get involved. But thankfully, the FBI are involved, so now we're going to know the truth.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do is they're going to provide all of what they know.
The FBI likes to tell the truth as long as it isn't about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, right. Well, and maybe it is.
I mean, yeah,
Maybe
know
it
what?
is.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're going to say we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The concern, you know who's on the Senate Intelligence Committee? Marco Rubio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's one of the top guys.
Really?
Yeah, and he's in a video, and I couldn't find it before the live stream.
People, that's interesting.
But when they were a couple weeks ago, they were interviewing him about the upcoming hearing.
Yeah.
You know, to hear about what the military has discovered of these things. Everyone's, the main concern is China or Russia or one of our adversaries have leapfrogged us
right.
technologically,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
They've developed something. We have no idea. These things fly at thousands of miles an hour. They make right turns, like 90-degree turns on a dime going 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're propelled by ionization.
Yeah, they seem to be massless, you know, and they'll dip into the ocean, they'll come out and they'll split into two different ships. It's, it's bizarre.
It's almost like they're
You can't even-
interdimensional.
It is. It is almost like they're interdimensional.
Mm-hmm.
But the worry is that it's one of our adversaries, right?
Right.
Marco Rubio. Gosh, I wish I could find the video. He said, he goes, quite honestly, I hope it is something from outside our planet,
Really?
so that it's not our enemies that are
Yeah.
outpacing us. He goes, I'm kind of hoping they'll say this is, an ET or what have you,
Yeah.
And so that's coming. That's coming in the next, month and a half.
Yeah, it's
This
a
report.
strange time to be alive.
It is a very strange time to be alive.
Because that's bizarre. Because we've gone our whole lives, Adam, you're closer to my age. Like, we grew up X-Files, and Kolchak the Night Stalker, and all of these. Well, I don't know. That's a little, but X-Files, and so all of these things were. It's like you knew about them, but it's a totally different thing if the government comes out and verifies it.
Yeah,
that's what makes like your hair stand.
Yeah,
because then it's real.
Yeah, then it gets real.
Yeah,
it's interesting. So Roswell.
Yeah.
Right. 1947.
Yeah. Big year.
We know something happened.
Mm-hmm.
We know there were bodies.
Yeah.
But what's even more strange is why the government spent 50 years trying to cover it up.
Right. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
The cover-up is what makes Roswell so intriguing.
Yeah, it's that whole "thou dost protest too much."
Absolutely. And, what's funny is that, Roswell happened, there were bodies, and about 6 years later, in the ongoing effort to cover it up, the government released a statement that it was a weather balloon, and somebody dropped two dummies from a weather balloon to explain the bodies. It was 1953. Bizarre,
I know, right? Yeah.
They're just coming up with all the stuff, trying to, that same year, 1953. That same year, July 19th, 1953. Google it.
Mm-hmm.
7 UFOs appeared over Washington, D.C.
No way, really?
Yes. Yes. 7 UFOs appeared over Washington, D.C. Jets were scrambled,
Really?
and very little was said about it.
Wow.
In January 1st, 96 or 2006, can't remember which, January 1st, there was a massive sighting over Mexico City, largest city in the world.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hundreds of eyewitnesses seeing the same thing at the same time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It wasn't on one U.S.
Yeah.
media outlet.
Yeah, no one covered it. Yeah, that was one of those weird... well, because they kind of learned their lesson after the Battle of Los Angeles. You know?
Yeah.
After... Adam, have you ever heard of that? The Battle of Los Angeles? Yeah, I want to say it took place... it was during the Cold...
96?
No, I think it was during the Cold War. And there were lights over Los Angeles, and we shot at them with artillery. And
Wow.
yeah, and you can look it up. There's
Weird.
it's and there's video, or there's a real footage of it. Yeah, the Battle of Los Angeles.
Keep talking.
It was an infamous. I'm not abreast of the UFO lore, but yeah, there it is. 1942. Okay, I apologize.
1942. That's before Roswell. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. I'll have to look at this.
and so it was a pretty big deal, and they've never been able to scrub it.
That's
you know,
in the
from
middle
record.
of World War II.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People on high alert. We had just gotten bombed.
Yeah.
But Pearl Harbor. West Coast is definitely, paranoid. A lot of anxiety about what might be coming over.
Well, and after the files about the Northwoods false flag that they tried to do, they were going to do, that was how they were going to kick off. If I remember correctly, there was a false flag proposal. It might even be called the Northwoods documents, where they wanted to crash some planes into, I want to say it's Northern California. The government was going to do this. These are internal documents, and blame it on the Cubans so that we could have a war with Cuba.
And I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so it took place around that same time as like the Gulf of Tonkin. It's that same sort of false flag kind of conspiracy kind of thing, and who knows what the Battle of Los Angeles was? If that was if those were real, if those are UFOs, or if it was some strange experimental technology. It's bizarre, man.
I think that from what I understand, the U.S. is the only country that hasn't come out and said,
Really?
there are ETs visiting us.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have other countries done that?
They'll all admit it.
Really?
Yeah, but the U.S. won't. We're
Adam,
still
has the
covering
Queen
up.
gone on and talked about
Well, she's a
UFOs?
lizard. I mean,
No.
not too much.
Easy. We don't want Adam to get vanished on us.
Although what we do have is the Rendlesham Forest incident.
Yes. Tell us about that, Adam.
So, in late 1980, there was a series of reported sightings of unexplained lights near Rendlesham Forest in Suffolk. Became linked with claims of UFO landings. The event occurred just outside RAF Woodbridge, which was used at the time by the United States.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes. Personnel, including Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles I. Holt, claimed to see these things they described as UFO sightings.
Interesting.
It's the most famous claimed UFO event to have happened in the United Kingdom.
And it was outside the RAF base.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many did they say?
No. Just says several.
Several? Wow.
Several.
Any footage of it or recording or anything?
No. Strangely, RAF Woodbridge was closed.
Oh, okay. Now, you you may or may not have some people, some RAF people in your circle. Have they ever talked about anything like that or commented on that story at all?
I'm looking at D. D's the main link to the RAF.
Dude,
Has anyone commented or said anything on that?
Their parents are so cool. Like, yeah, it's awesome. They have awesome families. It's really neat. I would
said anything about their own sort of sighting?
Like, I would go to England just to like spend a week with like the Burrells and maybe, but no. Yeah. Not in the slightest. Our official position is no. Yeah. Well, Adam, you guys had something happen like that one time, right?
Yes,
Yeah?
we did.
Yeah. You want to tell us about that? Because that's pretty cool.
Yes, so we were driving home. He's sort of looking at me.
Maybe we get Dee to tell the story.
Right, this is better. So we were driving home and looked up, and there was a huge triangle shape in the sky, just motionless.
Wow.
Absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And it looked like it had got circular sort of, I'm going to say it, but thrusters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Were the thrusters under each tip of the triangle?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Nick's onto something. He's
There's a video off a Navy destroyer of that very thing that just came out recently.
No kidding.
I want to show it to you, but I don't want to trip you out.
Okay.
I'm going to find it while you keep telling the story.
And it's hovering up there, and it was huge, wasn't it, Dave?
He's like, you're not allowed to talk about this.
Oh, she's just ignoring me.
Well, you know.
People are saying these things. These things, whatever they are, they're real, whatever they are, wherever they come from. People are seeing them. We just don't know what they are. Here, I'll find it.
So,
And it went from hovering
yeah,
to gone.
really.
Just like that.
A couple questions. Approximately, because it was at night. Was that right?
Yes.
How far? What was the elevation of the object?
Probably about 500 feet.
500 feet from the ground. Okay. And then you said it was massive. So about how wide do you think the object was?
From point to the base, I'd say it was 2 or 3 football pitches long.
Wow, man. 500 feet off the ground and
It was
200 to 300 yards.
You looked up, and there was literally you could see 3 circles of light, and then just blackness in between it.
Wow.
Against the night sky, and it's so surreal to look up and see blackness silhouetted against the black night sky.
Right, black within black.
So there's and this is one of the many little news reporting stations out there that caught this video, right? So you can find this video being, shared on a lot of different media outlets. I'm going to play it. Hold on a sec. Here we go. Ready?
I'm focused.
What it isn't.
I'm not even sure I would call it leaked video because it's kind of not even new. There's multiple sightings to talk about, going back years, but the truth is out there, and now possibly more actual video evidence to go with it. Roll it. The U.S. Department of Defense has confirmed this video taken in 2019 is the real deal. A legit
one
UFO,
corner,
meaning unidentified.
2 corners,
object.
3 corners. Look at that. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 corners.
Yeah.
This is giant triangle. I'll keep playing it.
Necessarily alien in nature, but unidentified. Pentagon has confirmed unidentified flying objects moving through the
better
clouds
view.
were taken by Navy personnel, and the military's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force is investigating these 3 strange air or space crafts. One appears to be a triangle, another shaped like an acorn, and another one.
Okay, these people are idiots. Those are clearly thrusters, 3 different thrusters on a large triangle ship.
Yep.
Is that kind of similar to what you saw?
That was what I saw.
No kidding.
Yeah, I thought so.
So from the point of view of, D is literally turned to me the minute it came on and went, shit, that was it. Use the language. But
Yeah, okay. That's okay.
I've said far worse.
Shivers down my spine now.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to freak you out, but when I saw that video, because you told me the story of what you guys saw
we talked about this
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a while ago.
And I started looking at this news story about the Intelligence Committee and the thing that went that was signed, and they have to do this report. I'm looking at all the most recent videos, and I saw this, and I just thought, holy cow, that looks almost exactly like what Adam was describing. A big triangle. There are some that are kind of the boomerang shape that have like the lights underneath it, Then there are the actual triangle shaped craft, with the thrusters or propulsion under each tip. That's creepy. That's really creepy.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll know more, in the next couple months. We'll know what these things are. And hopefully it's just stuff that the government's been working on, just developing. Let's hope that's the case. If it's not the case, if the government comes out and says these things are from outside our, our we're gonna be dead center. It's gonna basically be like Revelation.
Yeah.
There is going to be such an enormous falling away of people who casually had faith.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there are basically 3 types of people. People who believe that
cat people, dog people, bird people.
Cats and dogs
living together.
Mass hysteria. There are people who believe in the whole panspermia thing.
Yep.
Like what we think is God or gods were just aliens that came here and seeded life.
Chariots of the gods.
Yep. And there are a lot of Christians that are going to fall into that group.
Oh yeah.
They're going to go, oh, it was aliens all along. It wasn't God.
Yeah.
I guess evolutionary
worship
science,
the created, not the creator.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly right.
Yep.
And very few people are going to ask, well, where did they come from? Very few people are going to make the connection that there were gods in the Bible.
Yeah.
But then there was a Most High.
Yep. And by the way, you don't bother differentiating yourself as the Most High unless there are other gods that you have to clarify with. There's a reason why you have to be like, no, but I'm the Most High God, and so you're not confused because there will be some things that you'll see that will make you confused. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
Thus saith the Lord.
Yeah. And there are some people that are atheists, but when they see,
that's going to be their new God.
Yeah, and there are then there are people who understand that these are not ETs.
Yeah.
Then there are people going to understand that these are you can call them interdimensionals, you can call them, demonic entities, you can call them fallen angels, whatever you want. But they are not our friends.
They are not to be, whether, and I'll even subdivide it up, but it's still the same group. There will be people who will, like us in a lot of ways, or at least myself, who will consider them, some form of fallen angel or demonic entity or some sort of satanic delusion. But then there will be other people parallel to that who will say, no, I do believe that they're aliens, but we still shouldn't be worshiping them, and they're not our friends.
Probably.
You'll get a little subdivision in that, but it's still the same group ultimately, I think, which is like people who will be like, I don't really want to do what they have to say.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Hard pass on that.
Yeah, hard pass. Yeah.
Hard pass on the aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's gonna be very interesting.
I want it to happen
Uh-oh.
just because.
Hold on. Switching cameras.
Oh, we
hit the
gotta switch
2-hour
cameras.
mark right on it.
Man,
Hold
we
on.
did.
There we
Yeah.
go. We're good.
Just because we have
Potato cam.
yeah, potatoes.
We should have like a little segment at the end when the camera dies.
Yeah,
Call it like potato hour or something. You know.
we call it potato salad.
Yeah.
Baked
Maybe
potato.
maybe when the camera dies and we go to the gritty, nasty potato cam, that's when
Yeah.
we do our topic.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys? Fish and chips.
Basement talk.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, we should call it chips hour. You know,
Pub hour.
or if we wanted to make fun of Canada, call it poutine. You know,
I don't know what that is.
isn't that the sauce that they use? The like gravy sauce that they dip their French fries in. I don't know. Canada's weird. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't have the guts to.
Or just call it sorry hour if we're going with Canada.
Yeah, sorry hour. Yeah, no kidding. Well, I mean, we've been playing patty cake with this whole alien thing for so long.
Yeah. 50 years.
You know, yeah, we've been, and it's always disappointing, and it's always no, it's not this, it's this. I personally, it's almost like that same thing of when you're like waiting to get fired from a job, or you're waiting, or like something, you're waiting for something to happen that's inevitable.
Yeah.
Like
the inevitable bad thing.
yeah, or kidney stone. Let's say
Yeah.
you got a kidney stone, and you're waiting to pass that kidney stone. And it's like it's gonna happen, or whatever. Just you get it,
And
For
it's
me,
going to
it's-
sting.
and it's right, and it's gonna sting.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. I would rather get to it right now. Have them announce that it's aliens. Have it be real, like taxes real, and like have everybody deal with it now than prolong this for another 20 years.
Yeah.
And go ahead and let those people fall away. I don't want those people anyways.
The scripture says that even the elect, even some of the elect will be deceived.
Yeah.
I believe it was Jesus who said that.
Was it
Yeah.
the man himself?
It was actually the man himself.
When the man comes to town.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, that like those Johnny Cash religious songs, they're only like 3 or 4. Man, they're good.
Yeah, and the false Christs that come.
Yeah.
He said they'll come with all kinds of signs and lying wonders. They're going to perform miracles, and people who are looking for like experience to validate, a faith in something.
Yep.
When you have interdimensional beings that can, travel 12,000 miles an hour and stop in 3 feet.
Yeah. On a dime.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And when they turn around and say, I'm God.
Right.
Or I can, or they
we
start
seeded your
healing
planet.
people. Yeah. Or they say things like, we seeded your planet. We built the pyramids.
Yeah.
We did this. We did that.
Or cure for cancer. Yeah. No more cancer. Never grow old and never die. And yeah. Adam, did you guys have any like really emotional, psychological, or visceral reactions when you had your encounter on the road that night?
I drove very quickly. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Amen.
To get out from under that thing.
Yeah. It's like no.
Did you guys have the kids at the time?
Yes.
Did you?
Mm.
Wow. Were they in the car with you?
Susie was. Philip
Really?
was a mere sparkle in his mother's eye at that point.
How old was Susie?
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Does she have any memory of that? Or no?
She was asleep to the world.
Thank goodness.
Hmm.
Thank goodness. Wow.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
pretty impressive, man. Yeah.
And where in the UK were you guys when you saw it?
In Suffolk, near
Near the RAF base?
RAF Mildenhall and RAF Lakenheath, which are 2 USAF bases over here.
Really?
And how old's your daughter?
12.
12? So she's from about 10 years ago. So this would be back in 2011-ish? 2011-ish?
2011.
Interesting.
Yeah. Almost makes you want to look up what was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Well, because there's always that link between like the Nephilim, the angels in Tartarus, Antarctica, the Ark of Gabriel, and John Kerry and Trump's election. You know, there have been a multitude of different occasions that have been tied to some sort of it built into the UFOology like mythos, you know, political events, you know, socio-economic events, you know. There's some sort of correlation there, you know. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's something like that, and I'm sure they have a hand in it. I don't think they're extraterrestrial, and I don't think they're benevolent.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything.
I'm sure Putin's one of them.
Yeah.
And maybe the Queen. God love her. She's my favorite alien. She's my favorite. I love her.
Yeah, but now they got that Markle DNA. No, never mind, because they're over here now.
They're over there now.
Yeah, they went over to the other side of the tracks. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Live
And
over
then
where
spoke to Oprah about it.
What's that?
And then spoke to Oprah about it.
Oh, that's right. The Oprah interview. Man, that did not do them any favors.
Harry and Merkel.
Yeah. Where it's just rich people complaining about being rich.
Yeah.
You know.
Stop.
You know, it's so sad, Adam, too, because Harry was such a lad, man. Like, he was cool.
He was.
Right?
He was.
Yeah.
He was easily one of the most popular.
Yeah. Well,
especially with the forces.
Right. Yeah.
And then he married that American gold digging, you know what?
Yep. Friggin', yep.
She got her fairy tale and ruined him.
Yeah.
Who thought she was going to be the center of attention and then discovered she wasn't.
Yeah. And then threw a temper tantrum over it. But it's like, why do you, like, if you're not going to play ball, why join the team?
Yeah.
That's the weird thing. As an American, as an ungrateful colonial, I mean, even we were like, you know, why? Like, what are you doing? You know, because what does she get out of that ultimately? If she wants to be a princess, but she doesn't want to play princess rules, they kick her out.
Don't want to do all the princess stuff.
Right. So now it's just you and your excommunicated former prince of a husband. That, like, what do you get? You're not royalty anymore. Now you're just weird expat celebrities in the country of your It's so strange. It's such a shame too, because I remember her from the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 2 of Fringe, and she's like distractingly beautiful, and that's the first time I'd ever seen her.
Now she's just distracting.
Yeah, it's so. How the mighty have fallen. And with that, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, listen, what I'd like to do I want to circle back, if I may use Saki's term.
Yeah, Saki.
I want to Saki back.
Yeah.
In 2 months.
Well said, Delta. Well said, Delta.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, my favorite.
You know, here's the thing about Elon Musk, right? Yeah, Delta's right. By the way, we watched that rocket landing video where it landed on the ship. One time he showed me that video. Dude, that's like the coolest.
That's very cool.
I'm not.
They're testing the Mars rocket, doing that same maneuver right now.
You know what?
It's pretty
I think Delta's right in that Elon Musk probably is all of our favorite alien, because I think the reason why he's so obsessed with space is he's just trying to get home. He's just ET.
He's just trying to get home.
He's just trying to get back. He's at it.
Alien Wars. You put Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg in a ring in their alien forms. Who's going to win? Go.
Oh, Elon Musk.
You think so?
Hands down. Well, because it's like, okay,
because he's a big boy.
Right. Who do you think wins in a fight, right? Data or Iron Man? Because that's who you're basically pitting against each other.
Yeah, Elon Musk is basically the Tony Stark of our lifetime.
Yeah, it's Tony Stark.
Scares me though. I mean, I love visionaries and all, but you just envision your future, buddy. Don't try to envision mine.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me envision my own future.
Yeah. With the
I don't like where this is going. Why don't you go to Mars? You have fun. You go enjoy yourself.
Wasn't there? There was some sort of article that I read.
Don't make an electric car unless it flies, buddy. Okay.
Well, there was a funny thing about like when and it's been covered like in Babylon 5 and a bunch of these other like hard science fiction things about the relationship between Earth and Mars. You know, and it's gonna happen exactly the way Babylon 5 and what's the one on Sci-Fi Channel now? the hard science fiction one, something like space. I can't remember, whatever. But the political dichotomy between these two is absolutely going to take place, because there was an article about Elon Musk and like forming a Mars colony, and how they basically would just like start their own constitution and have their own. They would be independent politically from all the political structures and all the nation states in Earth.
You know, it's funny, I shared this with you earlier in the week. There's this old man. He used to be a part of Israel's intelligence, committee. He was like a top-ranking intelligence
By the way,
official
formed in
for Israel.
1947.
And he said that that on Mars there's already an underground base, fully staffed by Americans and Martians that are working together to develop technology.
At this point,
oh yeah, and there's an agreement between the U.S. government and the Galactic Federation where they can come down and they can abduct people from our country and do their experiments, and we won't say anything about it. We won't disclose that they exist.
Really?
So long as they share their technology secrets with us. Yeah.
Is this a video?
Yeah, and he says that Trump knows about all this, and that's why he was spinning up Space Wars.
Oh,
that's what Space Force. Space Force was all about. It wasn't about fighting our, our Terran enemies.
Yeah.
It was about defending us from extraplanetary threats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And freeing us from the chains, from the yoke of Martian enslavement.
And I'm
War of the Worlds.
Yeah, War of the Worlds, baby.
War of the Worlds. And you know what?
Yeah. With God Emperor Trump.
And I believe none of that.
Power armor.
And I believe none of that, because this is all like fallen angel stuff. This is all like demonic fallen angel stuff. This is interdimensional. This is from here. It came from here. It's working here. And it's all deception. It's all deception.
I mean,
that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. I know you might think I'm crazy. I truly believe it's all demonic deception.
I mean, Adam, I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you are, but like, Nick is not the bad guy in this group at all, because I'm not convinced that the moon is real. So, like, I'm not. I don't even.
That's unmedicated, folks.
Right? Yeah, that's unmedicated. I'm not even like
it's real, but we just don't know what it is.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't even refer to.
I don't think we landed on it.
If you notice in all the Heavenly Realms books lately, there's like no reference to planet Earth anymore. That's how that's how. Right. Yeah, that's how Foxtrot Echo I get.
We are
going down.
I love Delta's comment. Musk wins. Zuck is more Android. That's the truth.
Yeah,
dude. And the Twitter guy, what's his name?
Dorsey.
Oh my gosh, that guy's barely human.
Yeah, the goat.
He's like a
goat boy.
He's like a hybrid.
Yeah,
of some kind. Some weird. Yeah.
You remember when Jim Brewer would do the Goat Boy on Saturday Night Live? That's exactly what Zuckerberg or what's his face Jack Dorsey reminds me of. By the way, that Joe Rogan interview with Tim Kask with Jack Dorsey and his little Indian lawyer chick. Yeah. That was, I mean, I have never seen a CEO get ripped to pieces so badly.
Oh man, I gotta watch that.
On like live action, live footage, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was glorious.
Well, anyway, back to the UFO, the disclosure, blah blah blah. After that committee gets its report, I want to follow up on that.
Yeah.
On that live stream in a couple months.
Yeah.
I want to touch back on that.
Yeah.
And share, what they revealed. If anything, I just want to touch back on that.
Adam, what are you and
coming,
D think?
Man.
Do you guys have a unified front on that?
No.
Fair enough.
And good night, folks. I see the shepherd's hook come in and take you and pull you off.
You know what? And you know what? Whether it's interdimensionals, whether it's extraterrestrials, whatever it is,
control.
The church is not ready.
Oh no,
the church is not ready for that type of bomb to be dropped on society.
Yeah.
They're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Head in the sand. It's going to be awful. It's
Dude.
going to be nightmare.
The church can't even keep itself from being, name it and claim it. What is the new age spiritual the voice kind of, what do they call it, where you speak it into being and you self manifest.
Word of faith.
Word of faith. Yeah.
Galileo effect. Thank you, Delta.
What is it?
What is it? Let's see.
Galileo effect.
What is that? What is the Galileo?
I don't know what the Galileo effect is. Delta, you got to inform us here, man. What's going on?
Adam, what's the Galileo effect?
I am
Pulling up an official definition as we speak.
Galileo, such a hack.
Yeah. Way to go, Galileo.
A solar-centric.
Yeah, heliocentric model. Yeah. I the official Heavenly Realms position
A globe.
is that I have Heavenly Realms. The official position is we reject the heliocentric model. We don't necessarily embrace the other. I'm just saying we reject it. Not the Gosslings position, the Heavenly Realms position.
Understood. Yeah.
Gotta protect.
Here we go.
Gotta protect young boy here.
church destroying. No,
Delta
still.
says the church
Oh, yeah.
destroying scientific competition.
Yeah. Well, it's that Pax Romana thing. I mean, nothing ever changes. Whoever's in control has got to keep the status quo and keep the livestock placid and occupied with something.
Yeah, he's talking about how the church was so Galileo comes along with all of these wonderful insights and revelations, and the church didn't want to, concede to any of that.
Oh yeah.
It was this science that was conflicting with what they wanted people to believe.
Yeah.
And now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Now it's the reverse of that.
How the term tables have wormed. And Delta says he coined the term, so there you go. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta keep an eye.
Now
out
it's the
for old
scientific.
Delta.
It's the religion of the scientific community trying to destroy the message of the church.
Yeah.
Because they are the powers that be now.
Yeah.
And they don't want anything out there that supports a biblical narrative of our origins.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You could cut that one both ways, and it tends to be where if you believe in the NASA model, we'll just call it the NASA model for shorthand. If you believe everything that's laid out before you on that, it tends to make people feel insignificant, and it tends
in the universe
by comparison, and it tends to make people question their faith, question God. Now, for some people, it reinforces. Some people are able to think their way through that and come out the other side saying, "Wow, this universe is massive." And in the midst of all of this, God cared enough for a grain of sand on the beach that is me, and our planet.
Yeah.
But it takes work to get there. That's not stage one of that thought process. You can do it, but stage one of that thought process is to be like, oh, this holy book,
Mm-hmm.
it's all Iron and Bronze Age mythology.
Mm-hmm.
This is influenced by Greek philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
In the Code of Hammurabi. And I watched that. I watched that in my ordination class at Grace Point with Stan Mitchell. I watched people intellectualize their way right out of faith.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fascinating. So, it's not to say be dumb. I'll tell you, man, the thing that I come back to was one of the last things when Dad was talking about just having a simple faith, and there's a bit of Greek philosophy to that in that Socratic, I know enough to know that or maybe it's Aristotle, but I know enough to know that I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
You can't really be sure of anything. So all you have is really what you choose to believe in and what you choose to have faith in, and you can intellectualize your way out of any belief structure. That's why college professors are so insufferable.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what makes. I'll tell you, that's what makes the veteran community cool. is that like they choose to go along a certain mental path, and that's the path that they operate on. You know, and at least here, I don't know if it's how it is for you guys, but it tends to be. They tend to be solid in bearing because of that. It's really cool. So,
Well, man, we should probably go get Mexican food.
yeah, I guess. Adam, this was fun, man. This was
As
awesome.
always.
Love having you on. Always a blessing.
You and D both, and thank you again, D, for these awesome.
Yeah,
bookmarks.
thank you, D.
These are wonderful, especially this one.
Yeah, that is
Travelers
really
with
cool.
bookmark. Thank you so much.
And
Gave
D-
a thumbs up.
Good.
I love it, and the ghoster.
I know, man. Isn't that so awesome?
So fun.
I didn't ask her to do that. She just did that out of the kindness of her heart.
That's wonderful. Thank
So,
you for that.
Yeah, D is great. For anybody watching, I'll post links below whenever later tonight. So probably by the time most people see this, it'll already be up with all the proper links. But Adam _ narrates on Instagram. Adam, you have a blog spot too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of your blog?
Mr. Burrell UK at Blogspot.
Mr. Burrell UK. That's right. And then D, his wife, Adam's wife, who made all these awesome bookmarks for us and is going to make some more stuff. She has like a whole tapestry of. In fact, here's the tray that she made for. I commissioned her to make this for my aunt. This British tea tray. I love that, man. That is super cool. It's beautiful. She has a whole wide array of stuff. She's on Instagram, resin by Dreamer or resin by _ Dreamer.
Resin by _ Dreamer. Yep.
And if anybody watching this
Spitfire.
is on Instagram, author J Goss, Nick Goss writes, and you can find the Burrells, Adam and D, both through our various posts and everything. We're very blessed to have them. We're very lucky to have them. And she's going to make some more stuff. But, man, if you guys are interested, anybody who's watching this, Kilroy. That's a nice little Kilroy was here shot. Yeah. Reach out to him, man. If you're looking to have your book narrated, reach out to Adam. If you're looking to have some cool resin stuff made, reach out to Dee. She does some awesome little dice boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, let's see, Amazon.
Yeah, just Nick Goss on Amazon, Travelers League on YouTube, and join our Gosslings Writers group on Facebook.
Yeah, the Facebook.
Join the group. We stream this live streams to the Heavenly Realms YouTube channel and the Writers group on Facebook. So
and Fringe Mythology.
And Fringe with occasionally,
Yeah.
I need to share it over to Fringe too.
Yeah, especially with the alien disclosure stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna share it for sure. Yeah, fucking aliens. Fucking aliens.
Yeah.
Demons.
Headshots.
They're demons.
Headshots, baby. Start that intergalactic war.
All right, guys. Well, we will. Thank you again for joining us and making it 2.5 hours through.
I know. One of these days, man, we're
grueling...
going to get it down to like an hour and a half. But it just, whatever. This is fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll get the right set of content, and I think we can do it. But for now, this is working. So
pretty good.
Yeah,
and plus, it's a good excuse to hang with Adam for an extended amount of time.
Absolutely.
We love Adam. Very
and we'll
blessed.
be doing it again next week, and we're still talking about that's what we should talk about at dinner, some sort of initiation ceremony to make Adam.
We basically just have to figure out what we can send Adam and give him.
Yeah,
that's kind of all it boils down to. It's just okay, what cool thing can we do for Adam?
So you stay with us. Don't leave. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. Please don't leave us. Just.
We have cookies. We have.
You're a big deal. You're a big deal. We need you. Don't go anywhere.
We have cookies.
Yes. Hey, boys. Adam, you know what you need? I got a nice shiny quarter in my pocket.
I got some popsicles in my basement.
By the way, Adam, do you remember the? Where you going, paper boy? Get your fat ass on back here. Dude, there was a dude who used to call into work. He was a truck driver, and he used to call in every day, and he would ask for my buddy on the phone, and he sounded exactly like that.
Oh man,
he was
creepy.
Where's Mr. Kelvin? Yeah, can I talk to him? Come on back here, trash boy. So, Adam, you remember? Speaking of aliens, real quick before we go, you remember that South Park episode with Space Cash and the Derby, the space cops come down and they're like, Babyface McGeezak, Space Cash. How stupid are you people? And they're like, you failed the test, and they put the big like cube containment thing over planet Earth. Like, yeah, we were gonna induct you into like the Federation, but you guys failed the Space Cash test. You're out. You know, if no one's ever seen that episode, go out into the internet and just find. I think it's called Boxcar Derby, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
South Park, really, really funny. Yeah.
It's like the one where Cartman's always going, I did not have an inner probe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they did that one a couple times, and then the big radar dish comes out of his mouth. Well, because in the early episodes, they would always have, like, aliens in the background, because it's Colorado and, like, NORAD is there. Yeah, it's pretty good. So they know what's up. They know. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm Jonathan.
Nick.
And
Adam.
He's Adam. And we are the Gosslings. So thank you, everyone. Have a great Sunday. Have a great rest of your week.
Yep.
And we will see you next Sunday at 4:30 Central Time.
Yep. See you next
All right.
week.